Today's my birthday. I had just woken up when the door was kicked open. My wife grabbed me by the hair. You thought you could run off with our daughter? Get on your knees. My daughter immediately turned traitor. Mommy, I don't want to go with Daddy. I love you the most. Here's how it all started. My wife is the CEO of a major corporation. I'm her stay-at-home husband, a trophy husband who got famous filming TikToks about a day in the life with a girl boss. Until one day, a man showed up at my door and told me I was just a stand-in for her one true love. After 6 years of marriage, a new replacement appeared, carrying a delivery of green fruit, limes, green grapes, honeydew melon. He said, Ava sent these, so green and fresh, just like the horns about to sprout from your head. He told me I was nothing but a substitute, and that he was the real prize, the man Ava had paid to have surgically sculpted into a 9/10 perfect copy of her ghost. She had even bought him his own company, and she was spending every night with him. I believed him. I asked my daughter who she wanted to be with. She chose me. That same day, I took her and ran. At 10 in the morning, the doorbell rang. I opened it to a face that was both familiar and strange. Leo. Of all the scholarship kids my wife Ava had sponsored through her foundation, he was the star pupil. A real hotshot from USC's Annenberg School, or so I'd heard. He was holding several large fruit baskets, a brilliant smile stretched across his face. Caleb, my man, just came to see how you were doing. I let him in. The villa was empty, echoing with silence. Just me. Our daughter, Mia, was still at preschool, hours away from being picked up. Leo set the fruit down on the coffee table, arranging each item with deliberate care. Limes, green grapes, green apples, kiwis, honeydew. I stared at the sea of green, a vein throbbing in my temple. What's all this? A gift from Ava. Leo's eyes, full of playful malice, roamed over me. She said you needed some nice-looking fruit, for the vitamins. He paused, his gaze flicking meaningfully toward the top of my head. Look at all that green. So, healthy, right? So vibrant. Matches the horns I hear are about to sprout from your head. The TV remote in my hand creaked under the pressure of my grip. A hot rage shot up from the soles of my feet to the crown of my head. What the hell is that supposed to mean? Leo turned, looking at me as if I'd just told the world's most pathetic joke. It means exactly what you think it means. He leaned back into the sofa, draping an arm over the cushions like he owned the place. A man's gotta know his place, Caleb. Don't get greedy for things that were never yours. Did you really think you were some kind of Cinderella story? You're nothing but a replacement. My mind went blank, a dull roar filling my ears as if I'd been struck by a sledgehammer. A replacement? That's right. Leo stood up and walked over to me. He pointed to his own eyes, then at mine. Go, look in a mirror. You ever wonder why we look a little similar? I shook my head. We looked nothing alike. He let out a derisive laugh. Wow, you really don't get it, do you? Haven't you noticed? Your eyes are a 9/10 match for mine. That's because we both look like someone else. Ava's old flame. The one that got away. The one who died. His eyes. They looked just like ours. Get it now? That's your only value. I was frozen solid, staring at him in disbelief. Pleased with my reaction, Leo dropped another bombshell. You've seen me before, right? Notice I look a little different now? He patted, his cheek smugly. That's right. It was Ava. She paid for a few adjustments to make me look more like him. Now it's not just the eyes. My whole face is a 9/10 match. So, it's time for you to get out of the way. Stop warming a seat you don't deserve. I was shaking with fury, wanting to scream, but unable to form a single word. In my agitation, I bit down on the canker sore inside my cheek. Ah. The sharp pain shocked me back to some semblance of clarity. This was absurd. Ava would never... Why? The hell should I believe you? I finally managed to roar. Leo just smiled and slowly pulled out his phone. You don't? Ava didn't come home last night, did she? You want to know why? He swiped through his phone as he spoke. Because she was with me, all night. She just launched a new media company for me. We were there yesterday, christening the place. He shoved the screen in my face. It was a selfie. In the photo, Leo was in the foreground, flashing a peace sign, a triumphant grin on his face. On a sofa not far behind him sat a figure I knew better than my own. It was Ava. The image was a little blurry, but on the wall behind her I could clearly see the word media. Go ahead, ask her if you don't believe me. We're two of a kind, you and I, except I'm moving up and you're being tossed. Aside. After all, I'm the more perfect replacement. He put his phone away, clapped me on the shoulder, and headed for the door. Hang in there, buddy. Plenty of fish in the sea, right? Oh, and by the way, the fruit from Ava, that was just a little hint. A suggestion to be a gentleman about this. Walk away on your own 2 feet, or you'll be walking away with a whole lot of green on your head. Ping. A notification lit up my phone. It was from Leo. He'd sent me the same picture I had just seen, the selfie with Ava. Beneath it was a caption. Hang in there, bro. I'm on to bigger and better things. I stared at the photo. Leo's peace sign and smug grin felt like 2 needles, stabbing into my eyes. He was gone, and the villa was silent again. I collapsed onto the sofa, my mind a chaotic mess. A stand-in? Me? How could I be a stand-in? My thoughts rippled outward like a stone thrown into a still lake, pulling me back years. Family wasn't rich, but we were comfortable. My parents were high school teachers in Ohio, traditional and old-fashioned. Their biggest dream for me was to get good grades, land a stable government job, and live a quiet life. So when I got into UCLA and got a girlfriend my freshman year, they cut me off without a second thought. College, they said, was for studying. No, money meant no girlfriend. She left. To make rent, and for a sliver of pathetic pride, I started bartending at a place near campus. That's where I met Ava. She was clearly having a bad night, sitting alone at the bar, downing drink after drink. Seeing she was about to overdo it, I offered a gentle word of caution. She took it as an invitation, grabbing my wrist with surprising strength. Hey, handsome. You a student? Her eyes were bright, a mix of drunken haze and mischief. Where do you go? Want to hang with a real woman? I could, sponsor you. As she spoke, her fingers traced light, ticklish patterns on my palm. I was an innocent kid from the Midwest. I'd never been hit on like that. My face flushed. I took her to Ohio to meet my rigid parents. She took me to meet her family. Her parents were laid back and welcoming. If their daughter was happy, they were happy. Everything was unbelievably perfect. We got our marriage license, and a year later, Mia was born. Our life was always so sweet. I remember a trip we took to Sedona at the Chapel of the Holy Cross. She insisted we light a candle and make a wish for our future. Afterward, she looked at me, her face completely serious. Caleb, will we be together? Forever? Will we have our own kids? I laughed and tapped her on the nose. Of course. We'll be together forever. As for kids, if we can't afford them, you'll just have to support all of us. She immediately puffed out her chest, thumping it dramatically. Don't worry, I'm rich. I'll support you. You just have to be pretty, I joked back. So I'll be a kept man? If you're ever mean to me or the kids, I'll just have to take them and run. The sweeter the memory, the harsher the reality. I snapped back to the present, a bucket of ice water crashing over me. All those moments I thought were born of love now seemed like a meticulously crafted lie. All because my eyes looked like some dead guy's. I picked up my phone and stared at that infuriating picture. My heart sank, stone by stone, to the bottom of my stomach. Leo was gone, and the villa was terrifyingly quiet. I sat paralyzed on the sofa, zooming in and out of the photo again and again. I stared at the smiling version of myself on the screen and felt a wave of nausea. What a joke. Relationship goals? Sweet daily life? I was nothing but a carefully choreographed clown, a substitute hidden in plain sight. No. I couldn't just take Leo's word for it. I needed proof, hard proof that would let me finally accept the truth. I didn't dare call Ava directly. I was terrified of hearing the answer I didn't want, but even more terrified she'd just lie to me. My thumb scrolled through my contacts, finally hovering over a name. Megan. Ava's best friend. They'd known each other since they were in diapers. If anyone in the world knew Ava's secrets, it was her. I dialed. It rang a few times before she picked up. Caleb, to what do I owe the honor? Don't you usually just text? Megan's boisterous voice came through the speaker. I forced my own voice into a semblance of normalcy. Hey, just calling to see what you're up to. Busy? Just finished lunch. What's there to be busy with? I'm living the dream. What? About you? No new video today? The internet is waiting for its daily dose of you two being disgustingly cute. She was joking, but my heart was hammering against my ribs. I chuckled dryly, then took a deep breath. After a bit of small talk, I finally steered the conversation to the point. Megan, I need to ask you something. And I need you to be honest with me. Ooh, so serious? Did she used to have a thing with a guy from her childhood, one who passed away? As the words left my mouth, my palms were slick with cold sweat. The line went silent for a moment, then erupted with Megan's uninhibited laughter. Pfft, why are you asking? About him all of a sudden? She was practically howling. Yeah, that was a thing. I can't believe you didn't know about that. My heart plummeted. Megan was still talking, her tone light and nostalgic. Back when Ava was a senior, right before that night, we all went to the bar. She'd just confessed her feelings to him. Boom! Something in my head exploded. She confessed her feelings to him, right before she met me. Leo's words, Megan's words. They were two hammers, shattering my last shred of hope. Hello? Caleb? You still there? Yeah, I'm here. My voice was a dry rasp. Thanks for telling me, Megan. I appreciate you being a friend. Before she could say anything else, I hung up. As I did, I thought I heard her mutter, Weirdo. Yeah, weird. How could I, her husband, be the last person to know something so important? It was laughable. Utterly, tragically laughable. I still couldn't accept it. I wouldn't. With a trembling hand, I dialed the number I knew best. Ava's. She picked up, her voice cool and tinged with exhaustion. Hello? What's up? Hey, Ava, what are you doing? In the office, a meeting. I'm busy. What is it? Oh, well, someone dropped off some fruit today. Limes, green. Grapes! I probed. Was that from you? What about it? I sent it. What, you don't like it? You should eat it anyway. It's full of vitamin C, good for that canker sore you have. Her words were like needles pricking my heart. She remembered I had a canker sore. But this gesture of care now felt disgusting. Was she concerned about me or about a face that resembled someone else's? I summoned all my courage and asked the fatal question. Ava, were you in love with him? Your childhood friend? The one who died? The other end of the line was silent. Every second stretched into an eternity. Just when I thought she wouldn't answer, she finally spoke. No, I never loved him. He's dead, and I'm glad he's dead. Caleb, the only person I have ever loved is you. Her denial was so firm, that phrase, glad he's dead, so absolute, that it sent a chill down my spine. It was too fake. This wasn't an explanation. It was a desperate deflection. It was guilt. It was a lie. Her best friend had confirmed it, and she was still lying to my face. I couldn't listen anymore. I didn't hear another word. She said, Okay, I get it. I muttered the words and hung up the phone. After hanging up, I stared at Ava's name on the screen, the room spinning around me. I somehow made it through the afternoon without eating a single bite. My head was a chaotic storm of Leo's smug face and his poisonous words. I had to go. It was time to pick up Mia. Driving to the preschool, a single thought consumed me. I could lose everything else, but Mia was mine. For 6 years, I had been the one to raise her. She was the only thing that mattered. When I picked her up, she was a little chatterbox telling me all about her day. I stroked her hair, my heart aching with love. While waiting at a red light, I asked her nonchalantly, "Mia, honey, let me ask you a question. If you had to choose between mommy and daddy, who would you go with?" Mia, who had been playing with her fingers, looked up at me, her big eyes, so much like mine, filled with zero hesitation. "I'd pick you, Daddy. Of course. You're the best daddy in the whole world." My heart felt like it had been punched, a mix of pain and overwhelming love. I fought to keep my voice steady. "But if you come with me, we might not live in this big house anymore, and you might have to go to a different school, and we might not eat such nice food. Would you still want to come?" Mia's little brow furrowed in serious thought. Then she leaned over and planted a big, wet kiss on my cheek. "As long as I'm with you, Daddy, I don't care about any of that. Even yucky food would taste good with you." That was enough. Her words were all I needed. When we got home, I went straight to the kitchen and, for the first time in a long time, cooked a feast. All of Mia's favorites: mac and cheese, chicken, nuggets, and homemade French fries. After dinner, I even pulled out the tub of strawberry ice cream she always coveted, the one Ava rarely let her have. "Go on," I said. "Daddy's orders. You can have as much as you want tonight." Watching her eat, her face smeared with cream and pure happiness, the last vestiges of my hesitation vanished. Things were just as Leo had said. For 3 straight days, just work stuff, getting the new office set up, all the pre-launch craziness. Don't overthink it, it's nothing. I let out a cold laugh and typed again. That's a pretty generous gift, a whole company. This time the chat window stayed quiet. Several minutes passed before she replied, "How did you know about that?" Those 6 words extinguished the last spark of hope in my heart. She was busted. She wasn't asking how I knew she was with Leo. She was asking how I knew she gave him a company. In her mind, staying out all night with another man for work was nothing. But giving him a company, that was the secret she needed to keep from me. I laughed at my own foolishness and sent my last message. "Doesn't matter. Heard it somewhere. Going to sleep." I turned off my phone, stared at the ceiling, and didn't sleep a wink. If she wanted me to step aside, fine. I would, but I wasn't going to stick around for this pathetic charade. I, Caleb Reed, was done. I watched the ceiling fan spin all night. When the first ray of sunlight pierced the gap in the curtains and touched my face, I sat up. That was it. Screw. The stand-in. Screw stepping aside. I'm out. I tiptoed into Mia's room. She was fast asleep, her lips pursed in a little pout. I leaned down and whispered in her ear, "Mia, wake up. Daddy's taking you somewhere amazing," Mia mumbled, her eyes still closed. "Daddy, it's still dark." I lowered my voice, making it sound as tempting as possible. "Do you want to go to a place with no preschool, where you can ride horses every day and eat all the ice cream you want?" "Preschool?" Mia's brain instantly clicked on. She shot up in bed, her eyes wide. "For real, Daddy? No more school?" "For real," I said with a wink. "What's the point of school? Come be an influencer with your old man. We're going to Sedona, a month-long vacation, just us. How does that sound?" "Yes!" A brilliant smile lit up Mia's face. She looked more excited than she did on Christmas morning. Mission accomplished. Like 2 secret agents, we packed our bags with stealthy speed. I stuffed 2 large suitcases with clothes for both of us, her favorite toys, my streaming gear. I left nothing behind. In the living room, I found a notepad, grabbed a pen, and scrawled 4 words in big, bold letters. Gone. Don't look for me. I tossed the note onto the coffee table, right on top of the pile of green fruit. It felt so damn liberating. Before walking out, I took the SIM card I'd used for 6 years out of my wallet and, without a second's hesitation, snapped it. In half, goodbye, Ava. Goodbye to this gilded cage that had imprisoned me for 6 years. In the Uber to the airport, Mia was buzzing with excitement, her face pressed against the window. Daddy, do they have big lizards in Sedona? They do. What about coyotes? Them too. Wow. Can we bring a coyote home with us? I smiled and stroked her head. I don't think so, sweetie. They have their own homes. Just like me. It was time to find a home that belonged to just me and Mia. I booked first-class tickets to Phoenix. It was the last time I would ever use Ava's money. As the plane took off, the force pushed me back into my seat. I watched the city shrink below, feeling not a shred of nostalgia, only an overwhelming sense of release. It was like a weight being lifted. A couple of hours later, we landed. After picking up a rental car, we drove north. The air that hit us as we stepped out in Sedona was tinged with the scent of red dust and juniper. I took a deep breath. It felt like it was cleaning my lungs. We were staying at a boutique lodge I'd booked online, tucked right against the red rocks. The owners, a kind middle-aged couple, were incredibly welcoming when they saw me with Mia. They helped with our bags and even offered us fresh squeezed orange juice. Mia was in heaven. She spent the whole afternoon chasing the owner's golden retriever around the courtyard, her laughter echoing like wind chimes. Watching her run free, all the darkness and doubt clouding my mind finally started to lift. The sky was piercing blue, the clouds bright and soft. Mia and I stood in the courtyard, staring out at the majestic red rock formations. Everything that had happened before, every fight, every suspicion, felt like a ridiculous, distant nightmare. Daddy, Mia tugged on my hand, her eyes wide with wonder. It's so pretty here. I love it. I knelt down and hugged her tight. I'm glad you do. From now on, this is our new home. My new life in Sedona felt like a dream I never wanted to wake from. Mia and I went wild with freedom. We spent our days horseback riding through the canyons. She sat in front of me, giggling as the horse trotted along, her bright laughter bouncing off the rock walls. We fed carrots to donkeys at a local sanctuary. Mia held out her tiny hand with a carrot, her face filled with nervous excitement. And, as I watched her, all the bitterness and resentment I'd built up inside that gilded cage washed away under the desert sun and clean air. I thought this life could go on forever. But I had no idea that while Mia and I were basking in freedom, a storm was already brewing 1,000 miles away in Los Angeles. And at the center of it was the wife I'd left behind. It started 2 days later. Mia's preschool teacher, Ms. Davis, noticed she'd missed 2 days in a row. For Mia, never late, never absent, that was highly unusual. She called my number first. A cold, automated voice answered, "The number you have dialed is no longer in service." Ms. Davis frowned, thinking she'd misdialed. She checked the number and tried again. Same result. With no other choice, she dialed the emergency contact. At that moment, Ava was in the middle of a high-stakes board meeting. She glanced at her phone, saw Mia's preschool on the screen, and frowned. She silenced the call. When it rang again, irritation crossed her face. "Excuse me," she told the room, stepping out with her phone. "Hello, Ms. Davis. Is everything all right?" Her tone was clipped, annoyed at the interruption. "Ms. Reed, I'm so sorry to bother you. It's just, Mia hasn't been to school yesterday or today. I tried calling Caleb's number, but it says it's out of service. I just wanted to make sure she wasn't sick." Ava's frown deepened. Out of service? She hung up and immediately dialed my number herself. "The number you have dialed is no longer in service." Her irritation morphed into dread. She opened her messaging app, typed a text, only for a red exclamation mark to pop up. "This person is not receiving messages at this time." The color drained from her face. Forgetting the meeting entirely, Ava grabbed her car keys and bolted. Her heels clattered frantically against the polished marble floor. She sped home, dread knotting tighter with every mile. The front door was unlocked. She pushed it open, her voice echoing in the silence. Caleb? Mia? Only emptiness answered. She flew upstairs. Mia's room was tidy, but her favorite dolls and dresses were gone. Ava's heart dropped. In the master bedroom, my side of the walk-in closet was nearly empty. My clothes gone. The 2 big suitcases from storage, missing. He was gone. The realization hit Ava like a physical blow. She staggered back, her mind blank. She stumbled downstairs, her eyes scanning in a daze, until they landed on the note sitting on the coffee table. Right on top of the pile of green fruit she'd had delivered. Her hand trembled as she picked it up. 4 scrawled words stared back at her. Gone. Don't look for me. In an instant, worry and fear combusted into rage. Her knuckles whitened as she crumpled the note in her fist. Caleb! Her roar echoed through the house. You think this is some kind of reality show stunt? You think you can run off with my daughter? Her beautiful face twisted with fury. You better hide well, she seethed, her voice low and venomous. Because when I find you, and I will find you, I'll lock you in a room and make you kneel on a keyboard until you beg for forgiveness. Meanwhile, life in Sedona felt like paradise, but deep down, I was still a content creator. The stats climbed instantly, but I didn't care. I tossed the phone aside and caught fireflies with Mia, never knowing my video was triggering an earthquake online. The comments exploded. Whoa! Did Caleb get a divorce? The title. He left the girl boss wife. Finally, Caleb's got a backbone. Where is this? Drop the location. But among them was one very specific viewer, Ava. She was one of my followers. The second the notification popped up, she clicked. And when she saw Mia's ecstatic face and my relieved expression, her grip on the phone tightened. She paused, zoomed in, replayed it. Like a detective, she analyzed every frame. Then she froze. One shot showed Mia and me at the lodge entrance. In the background, a distinctive wooden fence and a stone sculpture. Ava's eyes narrowed. She opened her laptop, typed keywords, Sedona, boutique lodge, rustic fence, stone sculpture, scroll, click. There it was, a promotional photo with the exact fence and sculpture. Address included. Found you. A slow, dangerous smile spread across her face. Mia and I, unaware, played until we collapsed in exhaustion. I slept like a rock. The morning sun warmed my face. I rolled over to find Mia snuggled against me, arm across. My chest, lips smacking in sleep. It was my birthday. No expensive gifts, no parties, just peace. It was enough. But then, bang, bang, bang. The door rattled like someone was breaking it down. Mia shot up, terrified, clinging to me. Daddy, someone's knocking. What if it's a bad guy? I stroked her hair, irritated. Who the hell is it? Do you have to knock so hard? Can't a man get some sleep on his own birthday? Crack! The door burst off its hinges, sunlight flooding in. A silhouette filled the doorway, radiating rage. She stormed in, seized me by the hair, yanking me off the bed. Pain shot through my scalp as I crashed to the rug on my knees. It was Ava. Her eyes burned with fury, her beauty twisted into something terrifying. She loomed over me, her voice a low, deadly command. Get on your knees. I was already kneeling. My body obeyed before my brain could. Ava, I'm sorry. You're scaring the baby. Calm down. Let's just be calm. My voice shook. Scaring the baby? Ava's laugh was sharp, bitter. You ran off with my child and now you care about scaring her? If I hadn't come, I wouldn't even have a child anymore. Her voice cracked with rage. The child I carried for 9 months, you son of a bitch, you kidnapped her. I didn't kidnap, I muttered, my defense pathetic. Mia said she wanted to come with me. She didn't want to be with you. But before I could finish, Mia, my little traitor, popped out from under the covers. Her fear vanished, replaced with joy. Mommy! She scrambled out of bed, running straight into Ava's arms. Mommy! I'll go with you! Don't listen to Daddy! I love you the mostest! Her voice was loud, her words clear and filled with a sincerity that was absolutely soul-crushing. I was floored. I stared in utter shock at my own daughter, the same one who, just days ago, had sworn she would be happy with me no matter what. Now she was clinging to Ava's leg, her little face tilted up in a perfect portrait of loyalty. My mouth opened and closed, but no sound came out. My heart felt like it had been brutally stabbed by this little turncoat. I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The icy mask on Ava's face melted slightly, replaced by a look of triumphant satisfaction. She bent down, scooped Mia into her arms, and kissed her cheek. "That's my good girl, Mia." Holding our daughter, she shot me a look of pure contempt. Unlike some other ungrateful people, I could feel my face burning with shame. Ava finally released, her death grip on my hair. Her voice was still cold, devoid of any emotion. "Stop kneeling. Get up. We're leaving." Granted a reprieve, I scrambled to my feet like a defeated rooster. Leaving? She was taking me back? Of course she was. After a stunt like this, I'd be lucky to escape a formal trial by fire. I rubbed my numb knees, hastily saying, "Ava, just let me pack our things. I'll be quick. It won't take a minute." I'd brought so many clothes. I couldn't just leave them here. Ava, still holding Mia, looked at me as if I'd just said the stupidest thing she'd ever heard. "Pack? What is there to pack?" She shot me a look so cold it could freeze fire. "Are you looking for another beating? If we pack, where are we supposed to sleep tonight?" I froze, my hands hovering over a suitcase. "What did she mean?" I ventured. Cautiously, "We're not going back?" Ava rolled her eyes at me, a classic expression I knew all too well. 7 parts impatience, 3 parts disgust. "No, we're not going back. Did you forget what day it is? It's your birthday. You want to spend it on a plane?" My brain buzzed. "Birthday? Right. It was my birthday." In the chaos of the last few days, I had completely forgotten. A strange, undefinable emotion washed over me, a mix of shock, relief, and utter confusion. I instinctively straightened up like a soldier awaiting orders. "Roger that. Today's mission is to accompany Her Majesty on a royal outing." "Mine?" My mind went into overdrive, and for a second I was sure I was hallucinating from sleep deprivation. "What do you mean, mine?" "It's your birthday present," Ava said, her tone so matter-of-fact it was as if she were commenting on the weather. "You're a 10 million follower influencer, aren't you? I figured you couldn't just be my stay-at-home husband forever, so I got you a media company, let you be your own boss, build your brand. What's wrong with that?" I just gaped at her, speechless. A whole company? For me? Because I was a TikToker? The logic was so absurdly extravagant that it sent a wave of warmth through the iciest corners of my heart, melting everything. Seeing my dumbfounded expression, Ava continued, "As for Leo, he graduated from USC's media program. It's his field. The company is new. I don't know the first thing about running one, so I hired him as a consultant. To help with the setup, give some professional advice. That's why I was at the office so late those nights." We were working. But the pictures? I still couldn't let it go. "The pictures?" Ava scoffed, her voice full of disdain. "He took those himself, sneak shots or deliberately angled to get me in the frame. At first, I just thought he was an ambitious suck-up. Then I realized something was off, so I started ignoring him. I had no idea he had the audacity to take that garbage to you and stir up trouble." She paused, her eyes turning cold. "He must have dug up that story about my pathetic ex somewhere and decided to get plastic surgery to look like him. Thought he could use that face to get close to me, to hit the jackpot. The man is desperate." All the pieces clicked into place. Leo's appearance, the green fruit, the damning photos, his whole elaborate story about being my replacement. It was all a one-man show, a sordid, pathetic scheme to climb the social ladder. And I was the biggest fool of all, the puppet he had played so perfectly. I felt my face flush with shame and embarrassment. I wished the ground would open up and swallow me whole. "So, how did you find me?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "Your TikTok, you idiot," Ava said, rolling her eyes. Did you really think I don't follow you? I watch every single one of your videos. The second I saw that rustic fence and the stone sculpture, I searched online. It took me less than 5 minutes to find this lodge, so that's how it was. My dramatic escape, which I thought was so clever, was nothing more than a childish tantrum where I'd broadcasted my exact location to the one person I was running from. The betrayal and deception I'd imagined were, in reality, a surprise. She had been lovingly preparing for me. I looked at her, at the faint red lines in her eyes from her frantic, sleepless journey, and my heart felt like it was overflowing with 1,000 different emotions. I wasn't a replacement. I never was. I was the one she cherished, the one she quietly watched over, the one she would spend a fortune on without a second thought. She looked at me, a sly smile playing on her lips, but her eyes held a dangerous glint. You know, that Leo guy did give me an idea. An idea for what? I asked instinctively. That places like psychiatric hospitals really do come in handy. My brain screeched to a halt. The word psychiatric hospital sent a chill from the soles of my feet to the top of my head. All my previous anger at being deceived was instantly replaced by a wave of cold, hard fear. I swallowed, my throat suddenly dry. He's not going to. Get out and come after me, is he? A person twisted enough to get plastic surgery and invent such an elaborate lie. Who knew what he was capable of? Ava looked at my terrified expression and let out a cold smirk, the kind you'd give to a country mouse who'd never seen the big city. He's having a very hard time right now. She said it so casually, as if talking about the weather. I had him committed. I just stared at her, my jaw on the floor. Committed? You can just do that? Why not? She crossed her arms, watching me with an air of relaxed confidence. He handed me all the evidence on a silver platter. It would be a shame not to use it. Seeing my continued confusion, she patiently explained. He got plastic surgery to look like my dead, humiliating ex in order to get close to me. Wouldn't you call that an obsession? A fixation? He fantasized that he could replace you, that my company was meant for him. Wouldn't you call that delusional? He used a few secretly taken photos to lie to your face and try to destroy our marriage. Doesn't that sound a bit like a persecution complex? With every point she made, my heart sank a little deeper. Behaviors I had written off, as just scummy and manipulative, were, in her hands, clinical symptoms for institutionalization. I simply found a team of qualified professionals and described the situation factually. The doctors, of course, made their own expert diagnosis. Her voice was calm but held an unshakable authority. Besides, he's an orphan. No family, no friends. Not a single person to vouch for his sanity. A shiver went down my spine. This woman, when she decided to be ruthless, was truly terrifying. Ava saw the look on my face and suddenly grinned, a mischievous sparkle in her eye. She leaned in closer. Caleb, let me ask you something. Do you know how you prove you're not crazy? The question stumped me. Without thinking, I answered, You tell the doctor you're not crazy? Ava burst out laughing, a sound tinged with pity. You sweet, simple man. The more frantically you try to convince a doctor that you're sane, the more convinced he became. When we landed, Ava didn't take us home. The driver took us straight to a sleek new high-rise in Century City. Get out, she said, tilting her chin at me, a hint of pride in her eyes. I followed her into the lobby. On the wall behind the reception desk, in gleaming gold letters, was the name of a company. The same media company I had seen in Leo's photos, the one that had sent me into a spiral of despair. From now on, this is yours. Ava pressed a keycard into my hand. Her voice was casual, but her words landed in my heart with the weight of a boulder. She led me down a hall to the largest corner office. On the door was a plaque. It read, Caleb Reed. CEO. I stared at the two words, feeling like I was dreaming. From a kept man to CEO. The transition was too fast, too surreal. I pushed the door open. The office was spacious and bright, with floor-to-ceiling windows offering a panoramic view of the city. Ava came up behind me, wrapping her arms around my waist and resting her chin on my shoulder. Mr. CEO, she whispered, her breath warm against my ear, her voice laced with that familiar, mischievous tone. You're going to be surrounded by beautiful, talented young influencers now. You'd better Behave yourself. I stared at the golden Caleb Reed, CEO, on my office door, still feeling slightly lightheaded. This birthday present from Ava was almost too much to handle. Stepping out of my office, I finally understood what people meant by a feast for the eyes. The entire open-plan workspace was a flurry of activity, populated by a stunning array of young, beautiful women, leggy models, impossibly chic fashionistas, witty gamers, bubbly lifestyle vloggers. Every type of influencer you could imagine was here, busy in their studios, smiling at ring lights, or chatting excitedly about the latest trends. And me, the guy who got his start by being married to the boss, was suddenly their boss. Luckily, whatever other skills I lacked, I had a decent amount of charm. That, plus my 10 million follower account, gave me some instant credibility. Within a few days, I was on a first-name basis with most of them. Caleb, can you look at the script for my next video? It feels like it's missing something. Mr. Reed, my live stream numbers were a little low today. Do you think I should try a different angle? I dove right in, discussing content, cracking jokes, and sharing my influencer experience. Soon, Mr. Reed was almost entirely replaced by Caleb. Just as I was starting to enjoy my newfound status, a familiar figure appeared like a phantom in my office doorway. Well, Mr. CEO, living the dream, are we? Megan stood there, arms crossed, leaning against the doorframe with a knowing smirk. My heart skipped a beat. What are you doing here? Me? She sauntered in on her high heels and plopped down on my sofa as if she owned it. Ava sent me. Said she was worried you couldn't handle things on your own. Gave me a position as your executive assistant. She paused, winked, and lowered her voice. Basically, I'm her spy. Get it? Oh, I got it. I got it all too well. And just like that, my reign of glory was over. Megan was a 24/7 high-definition surveillance camera installed in my life. I had a slightly too long conversation with a new hire, and not 5 minutes later, a text from Ava would appear. How's the new talent working out? Does she require so much of the CEO's personal hands-on guidance? During a company-wide meeting, my eyes lingered for half a second too long on a streamer's very long legs. That evening, a keyboard was waiting for me in the middle of our living room floor. Ava, I'm sorry. My mind just wandered for a second. I pleaded, expertly assuming the position. Ava, holding Mia, looked down at me imperiously. Oh? It wandered? Then tell me, what color was her dress? I couldn't answer. I could only hang my head in shame. Mia clapped her hands with glee. Daddy's kneeling on the keyboard again. Mommy wins. I wanted to cry. One evening, as I was wrapping up my work, my office door swung open. Mia shot in like a little cannonball and hugged my legs. Daddy! I smiled and scooped her up. Ava followed behind her, holding a cake box from her favorite bakery. She was wearing a sleek, form-fitting dress, her long hair cascading over her shoulders. The moment she walked in, the entire office seemed to get brighter. I was about to greet her when Megan materialized, a look of pure, unadulterated mischief on her face. Ava, you're here! You need to get your husband in line, she announced, loud enough for the whole floor to hear. A knot of dread formed in my stomach. I watched in horror as she tattled on me with dramatic flair. Today he was staring, multiple times, at Tiffany, the new dancer we signed. The one with the long legs and the fishnets. I saw him. My scalp prickled. That's a lie, I shot back. I was not. Ava's eyes had already narrowed into dangerous slits. She set the cake down and stalked towards me. Is that so? The next thing, I knew my ear was caught in a grip that was soft but absolutely non-negotiable. Ow, honey, that hurts! She's lying, I swear! I yelped, trying to shield myself with Mia. Ava twisted a little harder, but the corner of her mouth was twitching with a smile. It had better be a lie. She let go, giving me an exasperated but loving eye roll. Come on, let's go home for dinner. Spared from execution, I clutched Mia and scurried after Ava like a loyal puppy. Megan, trailing behind us, was trying and failing to suppress her laughter. The three of us, a chaotic, bickering, happy family, walked out of the building together.